What it do, my guys and girls? You guys know what it is. Let me tell you guys something right now. We're back and we're ready. We never left, but you guys know what to do. You hit the like, hit the subscribe, and let's just keep it going. So the first thing you're gonna do, I wrote it wrong, but we'll give a fuck. NBA recap. I wanted to recap tonight, but I'm just gonna recap the whole thing because we actually only got 6 games left of the season. Could you believe that shit? Yo, summer is coming. The dog days of summer is coming. And this is why I said, you know what? Let me come back in this shit. Because you guys know what I do. I do all that shit. But where I felt I was lacking in my career was baseball. So I think I'm just gonna do a whole baseball thing. Like, you know how before it was just hockey, basketball, summer is, no, I'm gonna be here for the summer. Try a new thing. Let's get the summer going. You know what I'm saying? And we try a new thing. You guys know, hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. So NBA talk. That'll be the first thing. There's 6 games left, right? The boy Luca got suspended. You know, we have to start talking about my team, right? So the boy Luca got suspended, okay? But that was okay because it didn't matter if he played or not. You know why? Because our boy King James finished this shit with a triple double. A triple double? Yeah, a triple double. 21, 10, and 12. And I tell you, people were saying he's washed up. People were saying he was old. People were also saying that they should trade LeBron. I know you guys know that. They said you could trade LeBron. That was like a month ago. Now they're saying Lakers and Charlotte might be the finals. And you may ask, why would they say Lakers and Charlotte might be the finals? Let me tell you why. Because Charlotte is in 10th place. Charlotte is in the play-in. And you know what that means? Charlotte in the play-in means Charlotte has a chance for the playoffs. And if Charlotte has a chance for the playoffs, okay, and I tell you, if Charlotte keeps winning, Charlotte has a chance to go above the play-in and up to 8 because there's a race, okay? You have Charlotte in 10th, Miami in 9th, Orlando in 8th, Philly in 7th. So nobody, okay, so Atlanta is going to stay in 6th with Raptors going to be 6th or 5. Atlanta's going to switch with Raptors. That's the only dude that can switch. Philly, Orlando, Miami, and Charlotte is guaranteed going to be in the play-in. The question is who's going to play once and who's going to have to play twice. That's basically the question there. Okay? So you guys know what I do. I drop gems. This right here, if you're paying attention, that means everybody else who needs to win, basically the next 6 games, what's important are the 4 bottom Eastern teams because they're the only ones that can move. Okay. Why I'm not talking about the top? Because nobody's scared of these guys. And the top, everybody's settled. Detroit's in first, but no one's catching up to them. Boston's in second. Knicks is in third. Okay, like Knicks in Cleveland, let's say, could have a tiebreaker. Well, could switch spots, but that's unlikely because Cleveland. Does Cleveland own the tiebreaker? I'm gonna tell you right now. Knicks own it, so they can't jump Knicks. So that's gonna be the thing. Okay. And if I had to choose right now, the playoffs start right now. The playoff picture right now for the East is Charlotte and Miami, Orlando, and 76ers. Now, this is Tuesday, March 31st. Remember what I'm about to tell you. Okay? Miami is going to lose against Charlotte. Miami got their playoffs. What I mean by that is when Bam dropped to 83. The way karma works is you don't see it coming. And it comes at the times where you least expect it. Now, let me tell you something. Miami, they're not going to make the playoffs. Their team is not good enough. And that's why they did what they did. Everybody's talking like Miami is good and shit, and Miami's good and shit. Like, he did what he did. That was fucking right. Like, I would have did the same shit. What the fuck? But the basketball gods is going to fix everything. Charlotte's going to beat Miami, and then they're going to go and have to play a sudden death against Philly or Orlando. I wouldn't be surprised if Philly plays because that's when Joel Embiid is going to really play. You've seen how they've been playing him, right? And Paul George. Orlando doesn't really have superstars like that. Like Orlando has young superstars. Philly has old superstars. Who's going to win? Old or young? That's the question right there, and that's what we're going to see. Okay. But whoever plays Charlotte is in for a fight. Now, which matchup is going to be better for Charlotte? Okay. So that's the question right now. Who's going to stop Joel Embiid? Who's going to stop Ben Chero? If you know what I'm talking about, that means both players are big men, basically. So, yeah, they have the key lock, but are they going to stop the three? Because that's what Charlotte's going to do. They're just going to shoot threes all day. Now, the West, the rest is a different story. Okay? Now, the West, Golden State's in 10th. Portland is in 9th. Clippers is in 8th. And Phoenix is in 7th. And that's how it's going to stay. The only people that can switch in that is Golden State and Portland, but they're going to play each other regardless. The question is who's going to be home. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is. Who's going to be home in Golden State and Portland? Okay. In the 6, 5, and 4. So 4 is Denver, but Denver and Minnesota and Houston, they could switch. They're all like half a game, half a game, half a game, half a game, shit like that. So that's the only switching. But the play-in is the play-in. Who's going to be 4th, 5th, and 6th? Honestly, who gives a shit, to be honest with you. 4th and 5th is going to play each other. Right? So 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6. So if Houston ends where they're end, they're going to play Lakers. They're going to lose. Okay, it's a better team. I don't think Luka's going back to Texas, Dallas, wherever Houston is. Texas in the same fucking place. He ain't losing there. The Dallas fans are going to go to Houston in the Rockets facility and wear Luka jerseys. They ain't losing there. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting playoffs. That's for sure. We have Bam beating Philly tonight around the league. 23 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists. That's hard. We got Boston losing against Atlanta. We had Atlanta today. If you guys want some plays, the link is in the bottom to my winnable and to my ticket tip master. Check it out. Check it out. We stay winning over there. Also, then you have the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are terrible, man. What is Ja going to do? Ja, everybody, like, okay. What I think about Ja is I think I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he knows what he's doing. Okay. I don't think Ja is as stupid as everybody thinks he is. I think he knows what he's doing. And I think he's letting the Grizzlies know, like, because he's playing like hardball. You know what I mean? But the Grizzlies, I think Ja's going to stay in Memphis. They're going to build around him. And you know what's so funny? Memphis played Phoenix. And you know where I seen this before? In Phoenix with Devin Booker. Not the whole gun thing and all that, but the star, everybody's saying he should leave, but they don't make him leave. They bring all the superstars or whatever to play around them, and then nothing happens, you know? So I think that's going to happen with Ja. Ja's going to be Devin Booker. You know what I mean? I think that's going to happen. Now, Spurs and Bulls. Spurs is on a heater. A lot of people think San Antonio is going to win the championship. I don't know about all that, but they really do think San Antonio is going to win the championship. I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I don't think San Antonio is going to win. I don't think Lakers are going to win. I think OKC is going to win again. And I'm not even gonna hold you guys. I really think OKC is gonna win again. Okay? But as the playoffs go, we'll talk about it. And then Minnesota against Dallas. So they had Anthony Edwards come off the bench because Anthony Edwards was a little injured. If Anthony Edwards does not get to 100%, Minnesota's going nowhere in the playoffs. If Anthony Edwards gets to 100%, Minnesota is going nowhere in the playoffs. Yeah, you heard it here first. Then you have Cleveland. Cleveland might go to the second round, but they're not going to win. James Harden's on that team. So you guys know what to do. James Harden's putting up numbers. Donovan Mitchell's putting up numbers. Okay, James Harden 13, 14, and 6. Basically, James Harden's the point guard, right? Donovan Mitchell's the shooting guard. He doesn't have to worry about anything. And he's a better point guard than Garland. So Look, he got 14 assists to basically nobody. And when I mean nobody, the majority of the assists was to Mobley. So imagine 14 assists and 80 or assists to one guy. That's making life easy. You just have to make sure to execute it. That's what James Harden did for. So they're gonna leave first round because remember they got swept, but they're not gonna leave second round. I don't see it in them. OKC and Detroit. They think that's gonna be a nice playoff battle. No Cade, no way. No Cade, no way. You know what's so fucked up? You know what's so fucked up about these teams? Let me tell you something about these teams. What I've noticed, teams could be good in a season no matter who you have. But when it comes to playoff, if you don't have an elite star or two, but at least two, you're done. Right? In Detroit, they only have one star. They want to label Durant as a star, Durant as a star, but he's not a star. He's just a big man that plays old school. He's like, he reminds me of Andre Drummond. You understand? With the rebounds and the double doubles. But like people, what I've noticed, no, like nobody cares about the double double. You could get 10 and 10, everybody's okay with it. Like, come on. And he's injury prone. So I don't know. The average is what? 19 and 10. Okay. That's not enough. Zero. He doesn't even average one block nor one steal. That's not enough. That's not enough, man. That's not enough. He's gonna need to play more and dominate. He can't. They're not gonna win. And then we already touched the Lakers, so you guys know how I feel about that. So let's go move on to something better and bigger because the NBA is still gonna be there. And we'll tune in again to that. 6 more games to the end of the season. Real basketball is about to start. Now, next one we're gonna talk the Final Four. So the Final Four, we got the women, UConn, South Carolina, UCLA, Texas. All the number ones made it to the Final Four. So for next year and all the years to come, in the women, the number ones make it majority of the time. Now, and in the women, with the number ones, the spreads are like 48, 28, 38, and shit like that. Just bet against that shit. You know what I mean? Now, if you would have bet against that, the whole madness, you would have had money. I tell you that because these teams didn't cover. Now, this is where they could cover because the spreads are low. Texas and UCLA 1.5. You have UConn against South Carolina 6.5. Okay, so from me looking at this shit right here, they think UConn's gonna win the fucking title. You understand what I'm saying? They're gonna whop Carolina and then UConn's gonna be favorite with whoever, and they're gonna handle their business. I think UCLA upsets Texas and upsets UConn. You know what I mean? But that's the girls for you. The boys now talking about UConn. Did you see that? Did you guys see UConn handle business? Did you guys see UConn come through and show these guys, Duke, why they are who they are? I tell you this. You know I'm talking shit. First of all, Illinois just had a massive cakewalk to the championship game. Illinois was looking at that shit and they said, oh my God. Say where we just made the championship game. They're gonna be Duke. They're gonna be UConn. They weren't gonna be Duke. UConn now. When they say the white boy can shoot, that white boy can shoot. He passed it off, got it back with the jumper. You know, you can't make that shit up. That shit was beautiful. It was in rhythm, and it was nice. Now, let me tell you one thing. Everybody wants to say their kids, what was going on, da 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 da. What you seen there was when you play and you're too cocky, pause. Okay? When you play and you have no respect for your opponent. Because the right thing to do, you guys know what the right thing to do was. They were up by 2 with like 5 seconds left or some shit. What do? You pass the ball in, you wait for the foul. These guys were on some, these guys are trash. They passed it not once, not twice, but 3 times. Why did you need to pass it though so much? Hold the ball, get the foul, hit the free throws, game done. That's a regular, your coach was supposed to tell you that, but they were too cocky paws. And that's why they lost. Now we got my 2 teams. Okay, I got Michigan to win this championship. But I'm in conflict right now because my 2 teams is Arizona and Michigan. Okay? And they're playing against each other. And personally, I thought Arizona was gonna lose earlier. But it didn't happen that way. And that's when it got crazy because where it messed up, if you guys are wondering how, it was Purdue. I didn't think Purdue was gonna beat Texas. I thought Texas was gonna be one of the Cinderella joints, Cinderella joints, and then come true. But Arizona showed why they're the top, and the Purdue shit. So I knew once they got to Purdue, they're trash. And they did their thing. Illinois, though, is going to be the only one that's a Cinderella. But Michigan's going to beat them up. So Michigan to cut the nets. Okay, Michigan to cut the nets. Illinois to cut the nets. I'll parlay those 2. That's Saturday. I would parlay those 2, put my 250 on that shit, call it a fucking day. You know what I'm saying? 2,500. Yo, you flip that shit, double trouble. Call it double trouble. And that's how it plays. Illinois is playing too good. Michigan playing too good. So I wouldn't even hold you guys on that. Those are the 2 plays. Take the favorites. And then Michigan to handle business. Or Michigan, and if you believe in UConn, if you think after that UConn is now going to come and play serious, then UConn it is. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I look at that shit, to be honest with you. Now next, let's go to the next one. We're still in ball, and we're going to talk about WNBA. So WNBA is coming in May, right? And there's a couple of things that's happening. So the shit ass team, Connecticut Sun, they got sold, right? To the owners of the NBA Houston Rockets. So the Connecticut lost their team to Houston for $300 million. Okay, so they're still gonna play in Connecticut for this year. Okay. By next year, they're going to be in Houston. They have to get the gym ready and all that shit. They're going to change the name from the Connecticut Sun to the Houston Comets, which was called that in 1997. So Houston had a team back in the day, right? So Uncasville, Connecticut, they never won a championship. They missed the playoffs 6 times since being made in 2003, and they made 4 NBA final appearances. What? They still lost. Okay. They're still trash. And they just got sold. Shout out to all you guys in Connecticut, in Uncasville, Connecticut. Okay. But these guys were trying to sell it to Boston. But Boston said, fuck that shit. They're not going to move that. And it wasn't approved. That's basically why. So Boston was going to buy the Suns, but it wasn't approved. Milwaukee's tried to buy the Suns and relocate it, but the league blocked it. You know what's crazy? Boston tried to buy the Suns. It wasn't approved. Milwaukee last year tried to buy the Suns. Okay? It wasn't approved. It was blocked. Okay? Now they're going to get relocated to Houston, and Houston's allowed to buy it. They were also, so Houston in 1997, they were in Houston. Then they went to Orlando in 1999. And then they went to Connecticut. So that's why Connecticut had them in 2003, if you were wondering with the gap. So that's what happened. So that's what they're looking for. That's what they're trying to do. And we're all for it. The expansion team are about to be here. Again, we got Toronto, we got Portland. You know, you guys know I'm in Canada, so we'll be at those games. We'll be streaming those games, Toronto games for sure. For sure. For sure, for sure. Now, all what you guys have been wanting to talk about, I know you guys want to talk about the contracts. Hey, shout out to the women. They got paid. They got their money, and the jump is crazy. So my girl, Aja Wilson, to put it in perspective, right? So Aja Wilson was making $249,000. That was the Supermax. Now, Aja Wilson's Supermax is $1.4 million. The minimum was $66,000. Like that's how much their salary was, right? Like the worst player. Now, the worst player's minimum is $300,000. But if you're a rookie or like a newbie, you get 270. So before you would get 60,000. So they were just like us. Now you're making some bread, but not everybody's gonna get it because some people deserve the max, some people don't. It's like a great area because now you're able to get paid it, but that doesn't mean you have to get paid it. And they're putting some clause about pregnancy. So let's say they pay you a super max deal, you can't get pregnant. Because right, you're out for 9 months, then your hormone. That's what they're saying. But there's more details to come. The league is going to start in May. They had to come to agreement sooner than later because the women took a page out the guys chapter and said, "Yo, we're not going to play. And they're like, are you serious? They said, yeah, we're not going to play. So these guys ended up not playing. They did their thing. And shout out to them. They got their money. And Asia, whatever it is, 1.5, 2.5, 8.5. I'm going to tell you something. Asia, okay, is going to be the first person to get their money. So the people to get the max is like usually the stars on the team, and there's not really a lot of stars in the WNBA. But like I know like there's 5 that could get it, like Asia, Kelsey Plum, um, Mitchell, Stewart. But now it's like if you're gonna give it to Brianna Stewart, what about Sabrina? What the fuck? She's like the Steph Curry. Does she get more? Who gets more? And the budget is 7 million, so they'll figure it out. We'll get back to that when the details finalize. But just whatever it is for sure, though, they're getting a raise. So is the game gonna be better? Is it gonna be more better to play on? Are they gonna play shit now? Because before they were playing for their money. Now is it gonna be like the NBA? You get paid, and now it's gonna be like laziness? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. You know? Hopefully not. And last but not least, the MLB. The MLB just started. I want you guys to know something, okay? They're 4 games in, 5 games in. We're gonna be touching that on daily. I mean, I'm collecting the data. We have the new ABS, the pitcher challenging. It's getting crazy, and it's getting more entertaining. You know, what I've noticed in these sports, I've been doing this for a very long time. And in these sports, they always find a way, like the whole point of the game is to win, right? When we play these sports on the road or with your buddies or whatever, you're playing it the way the rules are. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if it says stop here, you're gonna stop here. If it says this, you're gonna do this. If it says, you know what I mean? But as you get in the professional life, they find every way to make changes in the rules. Like it's like turns into more entertainment. This is why it's on TV. So the whole point of me saying this is like, if me and you are playing, we can't use challenge and the ABS and this and that. No, if it's out, it's out. If it's a strike, if it's a strike, if it's a ball, it's a ball. That's how it was played. You understand what I'm saying? But now there's so much things like overturn over this, over this, over this, all that. But like at the end of the day, right? Everybody thinks it doesn't affect nothing, but it actually affects us as sports bettors. Because now there's a fine line between your win and loss. Because a call can be going one way when it should have went the other. But you know, that's part of the game, and that's why you put in the necessary work so you can beat that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. But baseball right now is really crazy. The pitchers are crazy, you know, and look at that. Do we have any undefeated teams right now? Nobody's undefeated. But nobody's undefeated. That's crazy. Because last year, there was undefeated teams, I think it was like 10-0 and shit like that. But 4 games is played so far in the MLB and nobody's undefeated. But there's only one team that hasn't won a game. And the only team that hasn't won a game yet, yeah, you guessed it, Athletics. The only team that hasn't won the game. So everybody won, but the Athletics. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get back on that train. Shout out to you guys for having this talk with Kobe. We're gonna do plenty more of these around these times. Late night talks. You know, there's some lines going on. We got some lines today, and they're out. So basically all these are pickups. Lakers is at -1, Dallas is at -1, Knicks is at -1, Orlando's at -1. Like I said before, guys, earlier in the game, if I had to pick any of these games, okay, like I said, Orlando I would pick because Orlando has to stay in 8th, right? The Brooklyn and Charlotte, 16.5 is the game. I'm gonna look for Lonzo Ball's threes. Lonzo Ball, they just lost against Philly. I mean, against Boston. Lonzo Ball's threes. Miles Bridges under on his rebounds, 5.5, 6.5, whatever the fuck it is. What I don't give a shit what the line is. Under on his rebounds, you know, that type of shit. But and I'll even pick Brooklyn to plus the money. Charlotte, like the two East teams. Do you know what I'm saying? So I would fuck with Brooklyn. Detroit and Toronto, that's a trap. I feel that's a trap. Detroit's going to be on a back-to-back. They're flying home in an overtime game against Toronto that just smashed up Orlando on Sunday, and they're waiting for Detroit. It's not far. I think an upset with 6 games left. Who's going to play? Cade is not there. There's no Cade. Cade is not playing. Durant not playing. Detroit not playing. You see what I'm saying? Detroit, it's Raptors. Then you have the Knicks against Houston. I would pick the Houston. Who, like Knicks? I swear Knicks, nah. Knicks is no. Knicks is only good in their comp, like in East. I don't see Knicks beating Houston, and Houston's not good. Don't think because I pick Houston means I think Houston's good. Houston's not good. You understand what I'm saying? Dallas and Bucks. The bookies said, fuck, we don't know who to pick. So we'll pick any. So how about this? How about fuck? The over? Fuck, those teams suck. But I would pick Dallas. Cooper Flag playing. As long as Cooper Flag playing, I'm playing. Right? Because like they're talking about shutting down Cooper, but like that's a kid. Fuck you shutting down Cooper. And then Lakers against Cleveland. Luka's back. Luka the Don, Luka PRA over everything. LeBron's probably gonna take a rest because he got his triple-double. And Luka's gonna be like, all right, big dog, I got you. And Luka's gonna do his thing. So I see Luka handling business, and that's Lakers. And oh shit, look at that, guys. That's the show. I'll be here tomorrow. Chopping it up, talk with Kobe, you know, and we'll just recap, talk a little thing, see what's good, you know, and make a little more videos and try to get back in the rhythm though. You know, I missed you guys. So let's tap in. And you guys know, you guys want my plays, link in the bio on the Winnable and Tipmaster, you know. So you guys know what it is. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Late night. You guys know we out. Kobetalk. Peace.